In Illustrator and Photoshop, whenever you're ready to work with lettering, fonts, type of any kind, whether it's sentences or whether it's logo types, the knowledge of how to move letters around individually and to move whole words, sentences, is going to be very important for controlling your space in your documents at all times. All right, so let me show you first. I'm going to select this stuff here. This is all written in one long continuous text box. All right, and let's say the I and the M are too close. All right, some lettering styles, depending on how they're angled, you might have a diagonal letter up against a vertical letter backbone, and the spacing just looks odd. So let's say the I and the M here in time are a little too cozy. So I'm going to click between them. Okay, and to move these two differently, all right, and spacing two letters independently apart or together is called kerning. And down here in the properties panel, once you use your type tool, and I made a selection, then any of these start to show up as opportunities for you to change things about the lettering and the fonts. So I'm going to come down here to setting the kerning between two characters, and I'm going to hold the up button until I get a spacing. Can you see it moving? Until I get a spacing that I want or desire. Now, of course, I'm being over exaggerated here, but you can set a guesstimated space, or you can just let it run until you're kind of thinking, I'm going to pull it in a little bit more here. That's better. It's definitely not back to zero, but the I and the M have a little bit more breathing space in between them than they did a little while ago, set at 0. Okay, so kerning is the difference between your two letters and how they might interact, and clicking on them while you've got your text tool open is a way to kind of get that to move, right? Letting or leading, I've heard it said both ways, can deal with an entire word. If you want to change the appearance of all the letters in a selection, this is where I can come over here and space out all the letters. I'm sorry, this is tracking. It can set all of the letters tracking different. So I'm going to track these to be adjusting their kerning all between them. Now, of course, that's like really exaggerated there. So again, I apologize for saying it incorrectly. This is a tracking. Okay, so this takes care of like an entire set of words that's highlighted. All right. To adjust and adapt. Now, in just looking at these two lines of text, my first impulse is, because of our knowledge of working with things like proximity, this is too big of a gap for readability. It doesn't even look like they belong. I mean, we know, right? A long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, goes together, but there's almost too much of a breadth of negative space here, and I need to bring these lines closer together. So that's what gets into then letting, okay? So again, I'm going to click back into this text box here, and I'm going to come over here and play with not how far away I can make these, but how close we might get them so that they're not on top of each other, because we have to watch out for the descenders. Those G's are swinging down low over there, and we don't want to get up too close where we start to get our ascenders touching the descenders, okay? And that becomes complicated for a reader as well. So we want something that's a little cozier than what we had before, so we start to read it as a continuance of a thought or a phrase. I might even get just a little bit more into there, but that they're not getting hung up on each other with ascenders and descenders. All right. So again, that was the idea of kerning between two letters, the space between them. Tracking deals with selecting a word or a sentence and changing multiple letters and their spacing generically all together at an even spacing. And then leading is going to be changing the length of distance between the gaps in your sentences or in lines of text.